If you're an e-cigarette user, you'll want to listen to this episode. Hi everyone, it's Jeff, and welcome once more to Plain English, the best podcast for learning English. JR is the producer, and this is episode 189. You can find all the episode resources at plainenglish.com/189. Coming up today, over 450 people in the U.S. have been hospitalized and 5 have died from a mysterious lung disease that authorities believe is due to smoking e-cigarettes. They think they might know the chemical behind the illness, but they're not sure yet. Later on, we'll talk about the English phrasal verb take up, and we'll close with JR's Song of the Week. Quick housekeeping item before we start. I realized that the RSS feed that populates many of your apps was only showing 100 previous episodes. Spotify always showed them all, but Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Podcast Addict, and some of the other apps were only showing the last 100 episodes, and that was a setting that I had inadvertently chosen in my media host. So many of you may not have been able to hear the very earliest episodes. I just wanted to let you know that, and to let you know that I have taken the limit off past episodes, so any app you have should now have all our episodes going back to number 1 in October 2017. Sheesh, that was a long time ago. If you use a vaporizer or an electronic cigarette with either nicotine or cannabis, listen up. A mysterious lung disease has affected over 450 people in the U.S. and has killed 5. The U.S. government agency in charge of public health is the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, based in Maryland. They said that the investigation into this lung disease is ongoing, but that people should consider not using e-cigarettes until they find out what's causing the illness. The precise cause is unknown, and in cases like this, it can be complicated to isolate the causes of this disease from other illnesses a person might have. Patient privacy also plays a part in the uncertainty. The American state of Indiana said that someone older than 18 died from this illness, while in Minnesota, an elderly person with a history of lung disease died after vaping an illegal marijuana-related product. Other deaths in Illinois, Oregon, and California are also attributed to this disease. The 450 people afflicted by this disease are in 33 of America's 50 states, so it is widespread. What is it? Victims report experiencing coughing, chest pain, and shortness of breath, but eventually their health deteriorated such that they needed to be hospitalized. Other symptoms include nausea, vomiting, fatigue, fever, and weight loss. Most patients treated for this disease were otherwise young and healthy. In 2 states, they had a median age of 19. In North Carolina, they were all 35 and younger. In New York, they treated someone as young as 15. These are not ages at which people typically get lung disease, not even smokers. Vaping among teenagers has taken off. In a survey released last year, 20% of high school seniors said they had vaped recently, compared to 11% just 2 years ago. As we talked about in episode 56, electronic cigarettes are advertised as a safer alternative to smoking the real thing, but many people who never smoked are taking up Juul and other e-cigarettes for the first time. Most patients with this new mystery disease were not using Juul, for example. Many patients were using some type of e-cigarette product with THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, or another substance, though some reported using only e-cigarettes with nicotine. In New York State, health officials are focused on a single ingredient that they said was found in all of the suspicious cannabis-related e-cigarettes. That ingredient is vitamin E acetate. Vitamin E by itself is healthy if you take it as a supplement, but it can be dangerous if inhaled. There's a disease called lipoid pneumonia, which is caused when inflammatory cells collect in your lungs. Experts say there are 2 ways to get this type of pneumonia. You're injured, and some of your body's fat cells accidentally wind up in your lungs, or you inhale oil. The vitamin E acetate found in some e-cigarettes has oily characteristics. This is only one of the potential causes. The CDC is testing samples for pesticides, opioids, and other toxins and poisons that might be in vaping products. It's still too early to tell what this is. Although 450 is a high number of cases, there's too much variability and not enough known data yet to say conclusively what is causing it. However, e-cigarettes and vaping are the common thread among all the illnesses, so the authorities are advising people not to consume any type of e-cigarette until they get to the bottom of this illness. Not everyone is going that far. Some of the more mainstream brands, like Juul, don't use vitamin E acetate or THC extract in their products. The dangers are more likely to come from smaller, untested brands or from modified black market e-cigarettes. In the U.S., recreational marijuana, including e-cigarettes, is legal in some states, but not in others. New York officials suspect that many of the vaping products that led to the disease there may have been counterfeits or illegal copies of the inspected and regulated products available in other states where marijuana is legal. The U.S. government is cautioning people against buying e-cigarettes or cartridges off the street or out of the back of a car because they might have been modified in a dangerous way. Yikes. I am not an e-cigarette user, but if I were, I certainly wouldn't buy a modified or black market version. I remember writing that earlier episode, number 56, about Juul, thinking, People are going to consider this the answer to all their prayers, a way to safely get the nicotine high without smoking a dirty cigarette. I know a lot of people took up vaping as a way to get that nicotine high more safely, but a lot of people who never smoked started with Juul and other e-cigarettes. And I remember thinking, this is not going to end well. Little did I realize that for many people, it would happen very quickly. Are you an e-cigarette user? Do you think the latest diseases are all hype, or are you concerned about it? Tell me what you think in the comments of the transcript at plainenglish.com/189. Here's a hint. That's also a great way to practice your writing. I'm just saying. A couple of hellos today. I heard from Luxon from Zimbabwe. He likes watching European football, and the commentary is all in English. So that, among other things, is one of his reasons for listening and practicing his English. That was the first time I've ever heard from someone in Zimbabwe, so I wanted to make sure to say hello and thank you to Luxon. Ryuta in Japan says she has eliminated her frustration and has started to enjoy English ever since she began listening to this program in 2018. I am touched by those comments, and JR and I are so proud to have had a part in that, Ryuta. Are you getting the episode emails? They're free, and they come with some bonus content that we don't put anywhere else. By signing up for the free emails at plainenglish.com/mail, M-A-I-L, you'll get the definition of one additional word or phrase with every episode. That's a rate of 104 per year if you stick with us for a full year. You'll also get links to articles about the main topic in English, so you can practice reading more about a topic you already know something about. JR sends those emails out. He does a great job, so why not sign up to get them? They're free. Just visit plainenglish.com/mail, M-A-I-L, to sign up for free today. I have a phrasal verb for you today, and that is take up. It means to begin doing something habitually or regularly. A lot of people took up vaping, e-cigarettes, as a way to get a nicotine high without smoking a real cigarette. They took it up because they started it as a habit. You can take up good things, bad things, neutral things. It doesn't matter. My friend took up golf in his early 40s. That means he started playing golf habitually in his early 40s. You can take up tennis. You can take up meditation, yoga. You can take up smoking. You can take up karate. You can take up chess. You can take up podcasting if you're willing to work hard at it. Juul was marketed as a way to help smokers wean their way off their habit. Adults took up vaping because it let them get the nicotine their bodies wanted without the harmful chemicals and smoke you get from a real cigarette. But guess what? Existing smokers were not the only ones to take up vaping. Teenagers took up vaping even if they had never smoked before. It's a lot easier these days to take up vaping than it is to take up smoking. These days, you can't smoke indoors. You can't smoke in public places. Often, You can't smoke near the entrances to buildings, and a lot of people don't want to smoke in their cars. Vaping is a different story. In many cases, you're not technically allowed to use e-cigarettes in public places, but it's a lot easier to get away with. It doesn't smell, it doesn't stay lit, things like that. So you can take it up a lot more easily than you can take up smoking. Okay, it's Thursday, so JR's song of the week is Oh Mexico by Jeremy Zucker. As you know, JR is from Mexico, and I went to visit him in Montreal a few weeks ago, and he couldn't get this song out of his head. The catchy line from the song is, "Oh, Mexico sounds so sweet, but I'm going there alone. I tried to be myself, but still I've got some room to grow. I'm going to Mexico." So that's the song of the week, Oh Mexico by Jeremy Zucker. And if you listen to it, I'm warning you, it might just get stuck in your head. That's all for today. Stay away from those black market vaping products. Honestly, no good can come from that. And they're expensive. Of course, that's easy for me to say. My stress relief is a legal product, caffeine. But still, be careful with that stuff. Coming up on Monday, we'll take a break from our usual routine and we'll revisit 5 stories that we've covered in the past year, and we'll see the very latest with those 5 stories. I think you'll like it. If you enjoyed today's episode, then I know you'll like Plain English Plus. It's our new membership program just for people who are serious about improving at English. Starting with episode 179, each episode comes with a video lesson showing you some type of grammar or English usage. You'll leave those lessons knowing exactly how to use complicated little English tools. The lesson for today's episode is about how to use such that. If you need to improve your writing and speak more fluently, then I know you'll get a lot out of Plain English Plus. Just visit plainenglish.com/plus and sign up today.